Sorry if I'm a little bit late. All right. Sorry, 45 seconds in late in recording. Whatever, guys. Big up to everyone. I hope you guys are doing. I know my camera's down. Let me try if I could fix that. If not, then I'm gonna explain it. Big up to everyone. Sorry for a minute late. So I'm just trying to set up something. I hope everyone is doing well. I'm making this video. This is really an important video I gotta make. I promise to the viewers. Sorry if I've been doing a little bit late. Like I said, I'm trying to release the Bundesliga video tomorrow, hopefully, and then trying to finish up the Premier League, La Liga, Bundesliga. I mean, the top five leagues except possibly the French league because. But whatever. So that's enough for off topic. I mean, just explain the reasons why. So I'm going to talk about this. So we're officially going to have an LAFC Club America matchup. And I'm going to explain the playoff game going into the Club World Cup. Why did they kick out Club Leon? Is it unfair? Fair. And yeah, let's just get started. So if you haven't already, smash a like. If you enjoy, subscribe. I'll try to do more of this if I can, but I'm definitely dropping the other videos, as you guys know. But anyways, big up to everyone. But yeah, so how did this Club America LAFC matchup game is going to happen? Like, why? And plus, what is it for? It's because it's for the Club World Cup, because apparently FIFA, yes, they kick out Club Leon out of the tournament. And yes, and despite winning the Champions Cup, or basically we all know the FIFA Club World Cup is re-rented into the new format for from the old competition, which is now the Intercontinental Cup, which will still happen every year. But that's for every year. But the Club World Cup as a whole is like every 4 years. Just like the World Cup, unless you don't care about the Club World Cup. But yeah, we all know 32 teams are going to be in the Club World Cup. Yep. We all know 32 teams are going to be in there, right? Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, we all know the teams that are going to participate. We all know all the clubs that won either the Champions Cup. I mean, their version of the Champions League in each continent. We all, but we need to talk about this. But yeah, we all know Real Madrid last year won it. Palmeiras from Brazil, PSG, Atletico. Even though I'm going to explain about this, we all know Palmeiras won. Flamengo won Libertadores. Chelsea won the Champions League. Seattle with the Champions Cup. River, I think. No, they haven't won. Fluminense with the Copa Libertadores 2023. Man City the Champions League. Real Madrid, obviously, in the last 2 years. 4 seasons. Twice. We all know, especially last season recently against Dortmund. And yes, and then Pachuca, who are the most recent Champions Cup winner. And this is all the winners between 2021 and 2024, basically, because every single 4 years, I think they're going to do this, and they're going to do it again in 2029. So yeah, whoever wins this year's Champions League or in this continent, because we all know we have the UEFA Champions League. We all know We all know it's PSG, Inter Milan, right? And all that, right? Cruz Azul, Vancouver, but they're going to be for next year's Club World Cup. And yes, and here's the thing: Club Leon, they won the Champions Cup not long ago. They just won it 2 years ago against LAFC. They beat them 3-1 on aggregate, 2-1 at home and 1-0 away in LA, and they won and they lifted the tournament. And they got there by beating Tigres in the semifinals. I remember, I forgot their path to the final. LAFC had to deal with Philadelphia, Vancouver in the way, which they did, and it was a Club Leon LAFC final. And yes, it looks like right now, and these are the groups, yes. As you guys know, and you know what, I might even do a Club World Cup preview at this point. There's all the groups. We all know FIFA decided. So yeah, As of December 5th, 2024, this was FIFA's draw as for the Club World Cup. But this was supposed to be that. Group D, which includes Flamengo, Chelsea, two big clubs that I know, obviously. You got fans from both. Tunisia, Ds Tunis from Tunisia, an Arabic French, name club from that country, from North Africa. This was supposed to be Club Leon. They were supposed to be in this group, but now it's replaced with LAFC Club America. Because you want to know why? It's all because they kick out Club Leon because they have the same ownership as don't want to play anything copyrighted. As because they have the same ownership. They're owned by Grupo Pachuca, which is obviously the same ownership between Pachuca and Leon. And here's the thing: after Club Leon lifted that Champions Cup in 2023, the following year, last year, because we're in 2025, Pachuca, they got there by beating Columbus Crew 3-0. The same day Real Madrid lifted the 15 Champions League against Dortmund 2-0. A couple hours after Real Madrid lifted that Champions League. In Wembley, basically. Pachuca were at home. And yes, and now since they got sorry about that. No, sorry about that. My mom wants me that I want if I want to eat something, if we can go out to eat, which I will. I don't know what I have. I might go Burger King or something, but I'm just trying to get this video up. So yeah, even Grupo Pachuca made like a statement, and then FIFA you know what? This story technically started with a club in Costa Rica named Alavelense, who won the Champions Cup, or Caribbean Cup, and they think it's unfair. They filed that complaint, and that's where it all kicked off. Like, are you gonna put Leon and Pachuca the same multi ownership for allowing this event to, happen? And you know what? And you know what? And this is why I see why Club Leon fans are pissed off about it. And now we're going to have an LAFC Club America rematch. And I'm going to explain about that. So, yeah, they kicked out Club Leon. And then FIFA, Club Leon sent a complaint. And they wanted, checking, the court system in there, the committee and all that. But they went back. And they rejected 100%. And it was official as of, I think, April 30th. Okay. March 3rd, March 21st. That's where they announced that they suspended until April 30th or May 1st. It was official that they will be kicked out. They will not be participating. And then Club Leon, they had a complaint that they were trying to demonstrate that they were trying to be independent, like this person said from Grupo Pachuca. Exactly says this statement is requested the letter from at the start. Yeah, in English they say. As you can read that. as they're trying to be organized. But here's the thing: due to multi, ownership, and then FIFA, they won't allow it. Allow it. Absolutely pissed off the Club Leon fans in massive, bro. They're absolutely going off, bro. They're absolutely going off, bro. And I do not blame them because I think it is. I know multi club ownership, maybe not fair, but the problem is there are some things that FIFA's not doing it, and I know some people. I know a lot of Club Leon fans, including Wait, I actually don't have. I don't know if I do have a family member that supports Leon. I don't think I do. But if I did, they'll be telling me that FIFA, yup, corrupto and all that. I know this multi-card ownership doesn't make sense because you're inviting, teams who haven't even freaking what's required from FIFA. Because technically, listen to me. So basically, to order to get in this tournament, you need to win the version of the Champions League. Champions League, right? In your continent, right? In the last 4 years between as this edition 2024 and 2025, we all know next edition 2025 and 2028. We all know in Europe, Chelsea, Real Madrid, twice Man City won it. And I get it why there's many repeated winners, but here's the thing: it's unfair because because of the same ownership, you invite teams that haven't even won it. You just invited them, especially inviting Inter Miami because of Messi. They didn't need what's required and all that, and then if it's favoritism, I do not blame them. I'm not gonna lie. Why is Inter Miami in it? Why is Atletico Madrid in it? Like Atletico Madrid, they don't. They're not serious. They're not a serious club. They haven't even won the Champions League. No offense. And look, they're going trophyless again, especially Simeone. I know Atletico Madrid will get slapped up by PSG on June the 15th. That's one of the games. And that's the rematch in LA. The Champions League game that happened in the league phase back in November between Atletico Madrid and PSG. I'm gonna try to go that game, but here's the thing. Why is Atleti in there? Why is Dortmund in there? Why is PSG in it? They haven't even won the Champions League ever, even though, yes, they are in the Champions League final. None of them haven't even reached the Champions League final. Inter Milan, well, we all know they are in this year's Champions League final, which whoever wins it. But Inter Milan, they haven't won. They did reach the final in 2023, which I kind of get it, which was against Man City. So I see why they kind of invite clubs because we they do invite clubs because of in case if there's like the same winner, like Real Madrid won it twice. But here's the thing: FIFA invited 8, not just the previous winners. Real Madrid, Man City, Chelsea. The Real Madrid won it twice, 22 and 24, obviously. Should I say 21, 22, 23, 24, obviously. Carlo Ancelotti, which he's now stepping down, as we all know, as Brazil's manager, which I'm going to make another video about it, which I already did, about my 100% official thoughts. I will do it, but yeah. And here's the thing: Atletico Madrid, with no with never winning the Champions League, all because Atletico Madrid did Atletico Madrid beat Atletico Madrid all because of their record in Champions League. Even though Atletico Madrid last season they barely made it to this year, they made it to the round of 16. We all know they got knocked out in the Madrid derby, which we all know. And who else? Last year they made it to the quarterfinals until Dortmund knocked them out. And Dortmund, they did make it to the final, fair enough. Inter Milan made it to the final, so I see why. But Dortmund have not won a trophy in a while. Inter Milan, well, obviously they're chasing, what trophies. But still, it's just not sustainable. And I see why they're fuming. And Atletico Madrid, I see why. The Atletico Madrid advanced more than Barcelona because it looks like in the last 4 years, Atletico Madrid did much better in Europe compared to Barcelona because they were stuck in Europa League in those last 2 seasons. 21 and 22 seasons, 22, 23 as well. They were stuck in the Europa League, which we all know Frankfurt United knocked them out and all that. Which I know Barcelona made a fantastic run, but they haven't reached the final in 10 years. Now heading into the 11th year, it's official. It's been 10 years since they haven't won it. And I see, but that's Barcelona. Barcelona are not even in it, even though despite how good they've been, and they should be this one. But yeah, Atletico Madrid, all because they have a better Champions League record. But here's the thing: what if their form doesn't stay the same? Like it's just, I get why. Atletico in it. You got PSG who are looking to win the first Champions League against Inter Milan, and they're looking to win the first treble. We all know they wrap up the league as fast as they can, and they did. And they got the French Cup final next week, and then the Champions League in 2 weeks. Which I don't know if I'll do a watch along for it, but yeah, special determined for next year's Club World Cup. But I just think some of these rules, I see why Club Leon fans hate FIFA a lot because of the favoritism. Like I see why Club Leon fans are just gonna say F FIFA. Yeah. But yeah, like this is why I see why our fans furious. Sorry about that. But yeah, I see why Club Leon fans absolutely despise FIFA. Ah, damn it. And then the debate of ownership, I know it's been like intense, but like I get it why. But as long as I mean, I know that they have to do it like in a responsible, right way. Like they just can't have assassins. But here's the thing: the problem is there's like corruption of having it both ways, and you're okay with this. It doesn't make sense because, like I said, Atletico Madrid they're not doing good. I doubt they can get knocked down. In my opinion, I will do a preview, and then Messi and FIFA. Yeah, I know you guys are absolutely gonna this and all that. Like I get it why. And I know much of ownership. I know Girona or New York City are not in there, or any other Man City group. Team it's not there. Isn't there? Luckily for now, isn't there in the Club World Cup? But if they were, especially inviting Schulzberg, who has the same ownership as Leipzig because they're owned by Red Bull, or imagine by New York Red Bull and all that, it's just outrageous. So I see why Club Leon fans hate FIFA a lot. I know some of them are blaming Club America, Miami, and I don't blame them because the problem is, what are we doing? If we're going to have it both ways instead of just doing it the right way, What's the point of this tournament? And I know, and this is why, and now according to FIFA's, and the only reason why they invite these clubs, guess what? FIFA, they're inviting, their FIFA will allow, teams that even if they haven't won the Champions Cup, they'll put the best team based on form. Basically, due to, the UEFA rankings, as an example, CONCACAF rankings, where I'm at, Combo World rankings. River and Boca have not won the Copa Libertadores in a while. They've been invited based of, how they ranked, which is somewhat true, but I also think it's based on size, because I even think they could have invited like Barcelona from Ecuador or something, or another Brazilian club like Cruzeiro or something, or who was doing good, or Grêmio when they were actually on good form in 2023, but they didn't. So if they're just doing this, I just don't get it. Like yes, if it's all about the money, I have no idea what to say. Like I'm not even a Club Leon fan. I will be going if I was a Leon fan. I probably will go off and absolutely destroy the minerals because I know bad owner. But here's the thing: they don't call out why should Rafa line Man City, and then we all know Chelsea. They're also owned. We all know they're run by Clear Lake, aka Clown Lake, as you guys call them, because they're criminals. Obviously, yeah, they are because we all know the story. Especially they own Strasbourg because of the blue co-ownership. If they both qualify for Champions League, I don't get it. And then yeah, it's just gonna be outrageous. And I know this, they don't even include Europa League winners in my opinion. They could have invited the second tier of I know some continents don't have like second competitions like Europa League or Sudamericana, but they could have invited them more, but they didn't. They invited teams that if it's true that it's based off having a or trying to twist the words to rank these teams and just based on form in the last few years, but not recently. Because in my opinion, Atletico Madrid, if Botafogo gets it right, I think Atleti are getting knocked down. Like, then what's the point? It's just not going to be as competitive. We all know Atletico Madrid, those synthetic tactics and not being serious. They're not serious. And I see why Club Leon fans will tell you to, F FIFA. And you know what? And then, yup, and now they're going to do it with CONCACAF. Now, since they kicked out Club Leon, despite winning the Champions League, just the multi ownership doesn't FIFA try to twist it. Miami, who are not a big club, they only want to do this because of Messi. And if it's true they're doing it the wrong way, they could have invited Al Nasa, but they haven't. For Al Nasa, they haven't even got to the Champions League of Asia. Now Nasa, Ronaldo, they have their own problems, but Miami, they're not doing much better. Miami, in my opinion, yes. I went to the game in San Jose and they did drew 3-3. Their defense is awful. In my opinion, Miami are not going out of the group. I think Porto and Palmeiras should slap them, in my opinion. So yeah, we're doing less competition. I see why Club Leon fans are upset. In Miami, they did make it to the semifinal of the Champions Cup this year, and they still got knocked out by Vancouver Whitecaps. And we'll see what happens with Messi himself, especially with the real World Cup coming up next year. And I know FIFA want to do this for um, they're. I know some people will accuse FIFA of accusing them of having doing this as for the Club World Cup, which I don't blame them. And now, as of and this is what this is why I know that there might be. I doubt there must be a boycott. Because if some of these rules are just unfair, there's no point of these. And now, thanks to LAFC of Club America being, according to FIFA, the next best option, they're going to have a playoff game. And it's going to be a $10 million event just to even qualify. Whoever wins that, now it goes to Chelsea and Flamengo's group. Atención, Flamenguistas. Attention, Flamengo fans. Attention, Chelsea fans. And that also applies to that Tunisian club, even though I don't know Arabic or French, or I think Atención. I think that's how somewhere close. I need to learn French and Arabic eventually. But yeah, if you this is why it's really important to watch this video because Club Leno are just being removed. They're just gonna move this different team, especially for this. If it's true they're just doing this for money, it does not surprise me because FIFA, the problem with football, like we're seeing this more often. They're just doing this for money and money and money. Like I don't even know how to explain this. If it's just about money, this is not the right way. This is not elite standards. And now it's official. Club America and LAFC will play at each other at BMO Stadium. It's official. May 31st. Literally, they're playing this game. Literally, literally the same day as the Champions League final between PSG and Inter Milan. Who PSG will fly to Atletico Madrid. Los Angeles to play Atletico Madrid in that rematch in their first day of the game, which is massive. And they want to make the Club World Cup as to be as the actual World Cup. But if it's just for money, I'm not surprised, bro. I'm really not surprised. Oh my goodness. And apparently some of the ticket prices, they're saying it's between 1 to 2K thousand. You kidding me? Oh my goodness, bro. Yeah, here you go. It's official. If anyone, let me try to pull up my screen. So yeah, FIFA. I don't know, man. Like now, this is why if you're an America fan, there's some things I know. America right now they're losing 1-0 to Cruz Azul, their biggest rivals at this point because Chivas are not a serious team anymore. Cruz Azul is at this point. Cruz Azul has rose up from the dead since last year. And you know what? Fair enough. It's official. I know they say in Spanish. Llegó el momento means obviously I could just put translate. The time has come. Get your tickets. LAFC. BMO Stadium. Ticketmaster. Get your ticket. And I know people will be saying this. I just like, just for an example. I'm not. But yeah. Puede comprar nada and all that. Yep. And then we'll see what happens because Club America, they got that second leg tomorrow against, Cruz Azul. Tomorrow, they got that game against Cruz Azul in that second leg. Yes, they just need one goal because, you just need a draw and you will advance because you ended up the higher seats. So, yeah, as of now, as of recording this, Toluca are winning 1-0 against Monterrey and they're advancing 2-1 on aggregate. And they do have a corner kick as the 55th minute. So yeah, Toluca. It's most likely going to be a Toluca, Mexico City final. Whether it's Club America or Cruz Azul, depending what happens tomorrow in the Mexico City derby. LAFC, on the other hand, they too got, and you know what? They do have they also have to play their biggest rivals, LA Galaxy, who has been dog awful, bro. Which you guys know, they've been very awful to watch. And you know what? Since they're really this bad, in my opinion, like why are they not trying to invite them? I'm not surprised, but it's just ridiculous. Yes, LA Galaxy have been awful, bro. Like it's impossible to watch them. They're not serious. But the Galaxy are so awful to watch. They play Haramboli getting 3 points and extending Vincent's contract. What are they doing, honestly? I think they're getting slapped up tomorrow as well. They gotta play their biggest rivals, LA Galaxy, before they play this match. So which means LAFC's May 31st game that was supposed to happen, I think is getting postponed. And whether Club America make it to the final or not, if they make it to the final tomorrow, we'll see what happens. Toluca have a through ball, but they couldn't capitalize. But yeah, whether or not, I think America will give it all for the fourth campeonato, but Cruz Azul, their biggest rivals, are fighting for those two games, those two champions, Campeonato Liga MX Clausura and the CONCACAF Champions Cup, which they have against Vancouver on June 1st, the following day after the Champions League and this playoff final. So yeah, and then I know some Americanistas fans will be shameless and they're gonna say yes, we gotta go there. They want to see how bad. Like America, they do have a hard group. They got, in my opinion, their big Brazilian brother Flamengo, because Flamengo and America have a lot in common, and they got Chelsea under Enzo Maresca, even though they're still run by Clear Lake, aka Clown Lake Criminals. But yeah, we'll see what happens in America. Depending how the Momenta does, they will get more rest. It depends what happens. Because LAFC, they got a couple games, even after the Old Trafford game, even in like 2 weeks, they still have like one more weekend and all that. Yes. And LAFC and Club America, both of them ended up in the quarterfinals. They could have met in the final. But no, they ended up in the quarterfinals. Miami knocked out LA. And funny enough, Cruz Azul knocked them out a month ago in the quarterfinals. And we all know they knocked out. We all know Vancouver knocked out Miami, or in the final against Cruz Azul. And Cruz Azul knocked out Tigres, who are in the final. And then some people are suggesting we'll have a Cruz Azul Tigres final. It's unlikely because Tigres, they need to score 2 goals as of now, and they got half an hour left, a lot of time. And if they could, lock up, the attackers. But yeah, and you know what? At this point, let me know what you guys think. Like, in my opinion, do you agree with these rules? Do you agree with FIFA, or is it just players for just money and money, 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 money? Especially using the United States for the capitalist money and all that to enjoy. Especially, business is done business. But to, excite fans, like, are you guys taking it seriously or not? Generally, this tournament. And I know that some LAFC fans Oh my goodness, sorry about that. And yeah, I gotta go eat. But I'm just trying to remind my mom. But yeah, guys, big up to everyone that is live. So do you guys agree with this or not? Because I know every single Club Leon fan, like I said, they're definitely going to be absolutely going off. Um, Club America, obviously, we all know they just won the 3 campeonatos. They make sense. They tried to win the Champions Cup last year. Pachuca knocked them out, funny enough. And they almost knocked them out in the league in the America. They've been struggling. Pachuca, more competitive games from Pachuca and Cruz Azul, more than Chivas at this point. Oh, here comes Toluca. Is this going to go in? Say no. But this is not even a video long or watch along, but it's just kind of matters. And Toluca, in my opinion, why are they not in a Club World Cup? I know they haven't won a trophy, but just yeah, and then it's just not fair. But yeah, what do you guys think? Do you think this is unfair? Do you think it's justified, or do you think it's just all about the money? Because and especially just $10 million, what are they going? It's just pure FIFAism about money. And I know some of you guys will be going off if you are one of those fans, and I feel bad. Honestly, if it's I wouldn't be surprised if FIFA some of these things are just built, or some of these things absolutely makes more stupid and not in almost in any sense. And I know some LAFC fans that probably want to say that, or feeling some of them are mixed up. I know LAFC are trying to pick up form, and they've been doing a little bit better in the last few weeks after that Champions Cup elimination. They just been average. So they've been trying to improve, build better. LA Galaxy, they're absolutely in mud. And we all know they too crashed on the quarterfinals. But yeah. But yeah, but yeah, not surprised, but we'll see how the public reacts. If there's any more updates, let me know. I think I might have to end it there, but my final thoughts is, yeah, it looks like FIFA. I don't know if this is sustainable because it's just unfairness room. Like I know multi club, but here's the thing: there's not other areas you don't talk about. So is it really the point if there's no punishment and it's just unfair all because of them one cover? Listen, Club Leon. I know they had a poor seasons after winning that Champions League because after that Apertura 2023 and the whole 2024 they've been awful, way below expectation. But ever since they brought in James Rodriguez, they started to thought the Wanderers will come back until once they got announced they got kicked out. The form absolutely killed them, and you know what? If FIFA's responsible, but here's the thing: the problem is you're going to have PR that is going to twist the words, whether it's from the clubs, FIFA, and make up excuses. Then instead of just doing business in the right way, teams are getting robbed, been liars, and yet there's no punishment for these criminals. I'm not surprised. And then like at this point, based on form in the last few seasons, based on performances, even though they're not doing well, and some of them shouldn't be there. Because I even thought some of these fan base, I get it why PSG and Inter Milan can be in the Club World Cup as an example right now based on form. Atletico Madrid, nah. I even doubt Atleti fans, not me personally. I'm not one of I'm not an Atleti fan, but I even doubt some Atleti fans that are feeling down don't even want to be in this tournament because why are they? If they don't even won the Champions League, of course the Champions League by far is the greatest, that's where the biggest. And we all know the European teams are the favorites to win the trophy. Obviously, we got Real Madrid, which Alonso. Yeah. I'm gonna make my thoughts about it. I should have made a video all the way back in December with these groups, but now since Club Leon has been kicked out, I don't know. So yeah, so yeah, we'll see how that match goes. So the Zone is gonna broadcast it for free after that Champions League final. What time is that game? Um, Let me check on my phone real quick. There you go. They can't. I know traffic was just in a few hours, but yeah, what time is the game? 7:30 p.m. Pacific time. Literally 5.5 hours. I mean, depending PSG into Milan, those extra time. That's expected. That expected that we have a Champions League winner. We're gonna have a new We're gonna have the Club Leon replacement. Even though whoever wins the Champions League technically qualifies for the next edition of the Club World Cup, and. So I get it why, and I know Club Leon they got problems with their own, and then leading up until Ramos Rodriguez. But I get it why you guys are not happy. But big ups to everyone. So make sure you like, subscribe. This video should have been done a little bit shorter. I should have done it earlier. I have to do it now because I gotta go. So big up to everyone. Gotta go. I catch you.